All right, if you will stop there. All right, so as we begin discussing algebra, one of the most important things we're going to do is talk about translating between words and math. So that's what this little activity that you've just done has to do with. So let's see how you did on translating those. So for addition, you should have had sum, combined, and increase. All those words indicate that we probably have an addition problem. Quotient, shared, and half indicate we probably have division. Multiplication is product of, what does it mean when we double something? Multiply it by 2. What does it mean when we triple something? Multiply it times 3. By the way, what does it mean what does it mean when we half something? We divide it by 2. Good. Okay, and then subtract. We have difference and decrease. Okay, how'd you do? How many people got it all right? Good. And if you didn't, don't feel bad. Now, I also want you to understand, some people think if they see the word of in a problem, it's automatically multiplication. But that doesn't make sense. You have to read the context of the question. Because if it said, the King of England, well, okay, that's of, but that doesn't mean anything about multiplying, right? So these are not rules. These are guidelines. These are words that indicate it probably is one of those kinds of questions. Okay, so if you'll put those away real quick. So you have this little skinny foldable that looks like this. Now, the top is a multiplication symbol. If you open it up, you can see that inside of it are some words that are commonly thought of as addition words. The second one is subtraction, commonly thought of words. Okay, you should be looking at this with me, okay? Then multiplication, and the last one is division. Division, by the way, a couple of you have a couple of words that were cut off. You need to do per and half. Write those two words on yours. Per and half. Make sure those two words are on divide. So if you don't have it, write it on there, okay? Per and half. So at any time while we're working on these, you can look at this, unless you're on test, of course. But while we're working, you can look them up. All right, so let's look at this one now, the big foldable. And there's some definitions at the top we're going to get to in a second. But I want to skip down to where it says ways to show multiplication and ways to show division. Okay, remember I said algebra is its own language. That's why it's so important that you understand what they're writing, because that's really half the battle. So in algebra, we try to write things in a shorthand, as short as we possibly can, writing as few strokes as we can, because lots of times the problems get really long and complicated. So the shorter we can write it, the easier it is to understand. So if you see a letter and a number, or a letter or two letters next to each other, that means multiply them. Okay? So this is the most common way that you will see. I don't know if it's necessarily the most common, but to me, the most common way you're going to see it in 6th grade is you're going to see a letter next to a number, or you're going to see two letters together. And that means that you're going to multiply them. So this is a very common way for people to write multiply. Now, this doesn't work if we have two numbers, right? Because if I have the number 2 times 3, and I write it like that, what do you think?
23.
23, right? So we have to put something in between them. We can't just write 2 times 3 that way. We have to put a times sign in between them. But if I had 2 times b, I could write it that way. Or if I wrote a times b, I could write it that way. So just remember, 2 together means you multiply. Okay, so that's one way of showing multiplication. And for our purposes, that's going to be the best way to write it. Okay, we can also write it with a dot, which particularly works for numbers. That one you're used to. Number 3, you're probably not super used to. But if you ever see a number and it's right next to parentheses, that means multiply what's on the outside times what's on the inside. Same thing here. If the parentheses are first and the letter is second or the number is second, that means multiply those two things together. So a number next to parentheses just means multiply. In this case, you have two numbers that are in parentheses, and that means multiply also. And then there's the old-fashioned way, a times b, which is okay, except for in algebra, what do we think about the x? We think the x is a letter, right? So this could mean a times x times b, or it could mean a times b. So that's why we don't use an x when we're in algebra, generally speaking. You'll still see it in some places, but most of the time you won't see that. Okay, but all of these mean multiply. So these are two ways that you'll see division written. So sometimes you'll see it the old-fashioned way with the divide sign, but the better way for us to write dividing is as a fraction. And you know, we've talked about this since almost like the first day of school, that a fraction is just a division problem. It means divide that one by that one. Okay? So just remember, you're going to see this a lot, and this is the most common way in algebra that we show dividing is by writing it as a fraction. So let's talk about 4 very important words that you need to be familiar with, okay? So the first one is called a variable. If we say something varies, we mean it does what? It can change, right? If something varies, it changes. So a variable is something that can change. You see that in the definition? It can change. So we usually, it also can be called the unknown, and we usually use it with a letter. So a variable is simply a letter. Now some people wonder, why do we put letters in math? The reason we put letters is because sometimes something can change. And so if it changes, we have to be able to have a way of saying, well, if it changes, here's what's going to happen. And when we get into more examples later, it's going to make more sense to you. But for now, just know the variable is the letter. So in this example that's in the middle here, we have x and y. Circle those and draw an arrow because those are your variables. X and y are the variables. It simply means those are the letters. Those are the things that can change. So circle x and y, those are your variables. Now another word that's kind of unusual is coefficient. If you think of like correlate, anything that has to do with has to do with something else. So a coefficient is the number that's next to the variable. The number that's next to a variable. In other words, it's the number that's multiplied. Because remember, when we see a number next to a letter, that means multiply. Okay? So the coefficient is the number that's multiplied. So 3 and 2, those are our coefficients. So draw a little arrow that way. Okay? Then we have the constant. If something is constant, it always stays the same. So if you can remember that, if it stays the same, it's going to be a number that's all by itself. And in this case, we have the number 5. It is all by itself. That is our constant. Okay? So the variable is the letter. The coefficient is the number next to the letter. The constant is the number that's all by itself. And then we have one more, and that's called term. And this is a little bit confusing, but you're going to get it in a minute. It says the number of parts in an equation or expression separated, here's your key part, separated by addition or subtraction. And that says there are 3 terms, but if you read yours, it may look like it says 5, because when I read it, I thought it said 5. But it's actually 3. There are 3 terms in this example, and I'm going to show you what they are. So there's one term right there, separated by addition or subtraction. There's another term right there, and our third term is right there. That's how we get 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. You see how they're separated by addition? Open up to the inside of your foldable. And now we're going to get into writing some expressions. So we're going to go from words into math. And that's kind of where we're going to stay today and tomorrow. So look at the first one. Okay. The order that they are in is very important. So we have to write it in the order that it's in. Now, actually, you know, addition and multiplication don't matter what order. But if we just always get in the habit of writing it in the order, we'll never make a mistake. So, looking at number 1, we have x increased by 5. Now, we talked about the word increased. What does it mean? Addition. So that's a plus sign. Oops, I meant to put a thing there. That's going to be a plus sign. And before that we have an x. So x plus. And after that we have a 5. So x increased by 5 is x plus 5. Write this on your paper. You should be with me, every person. Okay? Now, let's look at the next one. We have the sum of 8 and a number. Okay? Now, sum means what operation? Add. Now, it's not between the 8 and a number, but we can, wherever that and is, that's really where we're going to put the plus sign. So, because it says sum, we know it goes right there in between those two things. So, first we have 8, sum, add. And now when it says a number, that means a variable. It could be any variable you want, but for consistency's sake, we're always going to use x because it's easier for us to stay together and make sure we all understand it. So, the sum of 8 and a number is 8 plus x. All right, let's look at the next one. We have 11 decreased by a number. 11 decreased by a number. So, what comes first is 11. Decreased by means, so 11 minus a number is x. 11 minus x. Okay. The next one says the product of a number and 6. This is very important. This is where you really need to listen to me. Okay, this is very important. Everybody focus. The product of a number and 6. So product means what operation? Multiply. So the product goes in between here. So we have a number, that's x, times, don't put an x because that'll be x, x6, right? And then we have 6. Now, this is a correct answer to the question. This is correct. On a test, I would never count this wrong. However, there is a better way to write it, and this is important. Keith, I need you to sit down, please. When we're writing in the language of algebra, we put the number first and then the variable. So we now have a coefficient and a variable, just like what we were just talking about. This is the best way to write it. 6x, not x6. And I know that that goes against me telling you everything goes in order, but if I multiply 2 times 3, that's the same as 3 times 2, right? That's why I can flip-flop it, because it's multiplication. So the order doesn't matter. But this is the proper way to write it. If you write x6, that's not proper. It's 6x. Number first, letter second.
Do it have to be proper?
Yes. Last one. The quotient of a number and 12. So where and is this quotient, what operation is that?
Divide.
Divide. So we have a number first, x divided by 12. Now, does the order matter on dividing? Yes. We cannot change the order. And this, x divided by 12, is a correct answer, but there is a better way to write it. The better way is to write it as a fraction. X goes on top, 12 goes on the bottom. That's the better way to write it.